Hey guys, Larry here and welcome back to another episode of PhotoMeLarry. Today, I did a little bit of street photography in San Francisco and I was shooting with the Sony A7III with the 40mm G lens, the little compact lens series. I think there's a 24, a 40, and a 50. I decided to go over to Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. I wanted to shoot street, but not necessarily the normal type of street that a lot of people like to go and look for, like buildings or scenes inside the buildings. I wanted to shoot the wharf in street photography. So water, just the different loading docks or the life that kind of happens around the wharf. So I guess it's a little editorial street, if you could classify it, or maybe, I'm wrong. I'm just shooting street photography. But I went to Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco and I had a great time. Again, 40mm shots, every single thing. If I wanted to zoom in or out, I have to move closer or move farther away. And so let's talk about the shots. Now, as far as image quality goes, I do want to let you know ahead of time that all of these pictures are running my standard PhotoMeLarry preset. It's a preset I made just for myself. For whenever I do street photography, I'm probably going to use this preset from now on. So the image quality, the sharpness does come from the A7III, and some images I did like kind of scale, or excuse me, I zoom in a little bit. So if you feel like, oh, this image is really low quality, it's probably an image that was a lot bigger than I punched into something that I really liked inside of the composition. But for the most part, the A7III holds up. My main camera body is the A7R III, and then I have an A7 III, which I use as my secondary. So when I shoot weddings, the A7R III, I want to get all the crispy details I can. And then, I didn't have A7R III times 2 money when I needed a second camera. So I just wanted to have something to be able to have a different lens on it so that I can keep, instead of swapping lenses back and forth while I'm shooting weddings and maybe missing shots, I just have 2 camera bodies. So I have primary and then I have a secondary. And so, left side, right side. Normally I would have taken the A7R III with me to San Francisco, but today for some reason I was like, I think that the A7 IV is out and I'm evaluating, should I keep the A7 III or should I try to sell it and maybe some other stuff to get enough money to then get an A7R4, or excuse me, to get an A7 IV, not an A7R4. Sometimes when I was looking at my other shots, I thought that the A7 III shots just were a little on the grainy side, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't crazy, that maybe I was shooting aperture priority mode, but I didn't keep an eye on how high the ISO went or something like that. So I grabbed the A7 III today because I really wanted to see what this thing could do with no other camera, with nothing else to fall back on. It was just the A7 III. Yeah, so after going through all the shots, I really like, I swear, I really like my preset when I do street photography. The blacks are pulled down a little bit so that you can get a nice little bit of drama and mood in the shots, and you still get good details. The contrast isn't as sharp as it would be straight out of camera because, I actually kind of do like a little bit of softness to the images. I think it's just pleasing to me. And then I do like my colors a little bit on the warm side. So, if you know me, like I like Kodak Color Plus, like top tier. So. And Kodak Gold, like I swear, you catch me on a day, I'm gonna say one is better than the other, but I go back and forth between those two. Anyway, my preset, I try to keep the colors a little bit on the warm side. I do like the images to be somewhat soft, and then I make sure that my shadows, the contrast in the shadows aren't so sharp that it looks straight out of camera. You definitely can tell that I have a preset applied to all of my images, but that's just what I like. This is a preset I made for myself, and I hope you guys like the stuff. And yes, this is a fake microphone. I actually have my lavalier mic right here, but I couldn't help it. This is it's like a $10 microphone prop. So I bought an actual microphone cover for it. I mean, it looks the part. I love the prop. I actually got another prop that I'm excited to show you guys on the videos one day. I really like shooting digital when I go street, mainly because it gives me the biggest safety net. Right? You'll run out of battery before you run out of memory cards, but film is like the exact opposite, right? Like, imagine trying to carry 10 rolls of film and only getting 36 shots per roll. You really do have to be dedicated to street photography as a street photographer who shoots film. And my confidence isn't at that level yet, in the sense that I'll be happy to just like take 3, 4 shots to make sure that I got the shot, or I'll know that like I can just nail anything that I want to do when I'm in street. Because I really only just started trying to shoot and enjoy street photography this year. I've mainly been a portraits and events kind of guy. And you would think events kind of leans into street, but street is like a whole nother beast, because in events, sometimes I'll be like, oh, hey, stop 1 second. And then I'll take the picture. Street, these are total strangers who like could care less that you think you have an art project that you want to shoot really quick. They're going about their business, going about their day. And so when I shoot street now, it's like, okay, I just really want to get the shot. And digital, I get, just the benefit of I can blast up a whole card and come home with 9,000 photos if I wanted to, or I can come home with 10 photos, right? And I'm not against shooting film for street. Like, I actually have done it a few times and it's fun. Like, don't get me wrong. I just know that when I'm specifically trying to practice my photography for the sake of, I want to improve, maybe my mastery of the camera body that I'm using, or if I want to improve just my ability to recognize something really beautiful in a small period of time and like nail the shot, I want to spend as much time practicing as I can, and film just kind of doesn't give me that opportunity. Where digital, I can shoot all day, anywhere I want, with the lightest setup and not a whole lot of fuss. And so whenever I'm practicing something, I'm probably shooting digital. If I'm trying to create a print, I'll probably go with film, just because film is nostalgia for me. I came up in film. My first SLR obviously was a film camera, and that's where all this started, you know what I mean? So I'll never lose my love for film, but the type of photography I do is usually dictated by the finances. Whereas once you have the camera and the memory card and a electricity supply, you can shoot film all day, any day, or you can shoot digital all day, any day. But with film, you have to go buy the film, you have to make sure you have the good camera, then you get your 36 shots, and then you need to have another roll of film. And then even after you're done, obviously you have to get it processed if you do that at home yourself, or if you pay another lab to do it. You can see how the costs and the time involved starts incurring to, a very big commitment. So as much as I love film, I usually shoot digital, and so that's kind of why I shot digital today. So what did I learn? Again, today for me was practice. I had a really good time out there. There's two things that I either want to get better at or work my way around. And again, I didn't really shoot many portraits today. I didn't stop anybody who like had a great moment and try to shoot like a portrait, like where I'm getting their front of their face, their smile, or anything like that. I wasn't really trying to bother people today. I just wanted to shoot really nice compositions. So either I'm going to need to find a way to hey, can I take you guys a picture really quick? And then get a good shot, or maybe bring the workaround, bring a longer lens. Today I was shooting with 40mm, but I could shoot with 24 to 105 or something like that. That gives me an opportunity to, well, maybe if I don't want to engage with these people, I can still at least create a very pleasing composition without, having to get this close and looking like a weirdo. And then the second thing is just recognizing the things that I want to take a picture of, and like really isolating my subjects. Some of the images that I took today, in the moment, I'm like, I hone in on this thing that I think is really pretty, or I think a composition is nice. But then when I come back home and I look at the prints, I was like, wow, shooting at f11, all of this other stuff that's kind of, taking away attention from what I was really trying to show is in detail, and it's in the frame. And so the other thing I want to work on is, again, because of street and you want to move fast, is how can I, even in these moments where I have to move very fast to get the shot that I want, can I stop, frame it right, isolate the things that I care about, the details, and then get rid of all the noise without using Photoshop, right? Like without having to do it in post, which I can. I cheated on one of the photographs. I took out a number and I took out a letter that was on one of the store billboard things. And so it's just white and red now, where it used to have a little bit of text right there. So that, I didn't feel so bad about that. But for the most part, my goal in street photography is to have as much straight out of camera as possible, where all I'm worried about is maybe dropping a preset at the end of the day, or just, changing the crop so that all my lines are straight. I think that my own personal photography goal here is I want to be the best photographer on YouTube. And what that means is no hate or disrespect to anybody out there, but it's my goal to be just so damn good at this that, like, not even that it's a fame thing or that it's renowned, but it's like, I'm gonna die one day. I'm not gonna be able to do photography, so I wanna get to the absolute best that I can while I'm alive. And I just want it to mean something. I wanna be the best that I absolutely can be. And so that means learning, that means studying, that means practicing, that means doing, that means reviewing, that means refining, and then going back out and just keep doing that loop over and over and over and over of setting a goal, going out, trying to achieve the goal, see how far I got, evaluate what I needed to do to get closer, and then do it again. Yeah, I believe in myself. I believe I have the creativity to see things. I can refine my eye. I don't need new cameras. I don't even want more cameras. I bought, man, I think I have, like you can't see, but off camera on the other side of the room, I have all my cameras and my equipment and stuff. And in there, just in the point and shoot cubby, it's like overflowing with $10 point and shoots, $20 point and shoots, and then also a couple of expensive ones. But like I went crazy buying point and shoots, and I have a ton of cameras where now it's like, ooh, I'm not gonna use all that, you know what I mean? I didn't even go ham, like I didn't spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Like point and shoots can vary in price, but the message is like, I really did buy a ton of stuff thinking that like it was gonna excite me to go out and shoot photography. And where I sit now is like, just go shoot photography. I could have had one point and shoot, one really good film camera, maybe 2 digital cameras because, you know, I do get paid to do events or I do get paid to do weddings and such. And my workflow is my workflow. I like having the 2 bodies. So like I could have gotten to the same point, I believe, with 4 cameras instead of 40. And again, 40 because I have I'm seriously, there's a lot of point and shoots over there. Maybe not 40. Let's say 20 cameras. I probably have 20 cameras. If you include the GoPros, okay, like 25. There's a lot. I'm selling cameras though, so I've got stuff over there that I need to actually put on eBay. And that was one of the promises I made to myself this weekend, that I would eBay all this stuff. Like I'm being critical now, and I'm saying that like, Larry, you don't need to buy stuff to get better. You have the things you need to be able to practice this, so you don't need any more purchases other than film and, you know, chemicals or processing fees, or batteries, extra batteries. I'm still buying those. So I'm past that point. I've completely lost my train of thought. Whatever I was saying, I meant that. And yeah. So yeah, like when it comes to books, you know, you get to a point where you stop doing the how-to books and you just start doing the inspirational books, or you just start looking at the works of other great master photographers, and you know, you try to find inspiration, or you try to see through someone else's eyes so that you can then enhance what you see through your own. And I'm kind of getting into that stage now. I used to really love buying the books where it's like how to get moody lighting for portraits, or how to ace wedding photography, you know, like all these kind of introduction to photography type teachings. Whereas now it's like, look, I got my camera, or I can take anyone's camera and just be cool as long as I know where to find the features I'm looking for. I'm great. I want to see some dope photos. Like I want to see some processes. I want to see some philosophies from other people who are excellent at photography. And I think that I'm now kind of in that stage where all my time, all my focus is just like feeding myself inspiration and feeding myself opportunities to practice and improve photography. So if you want to be along for that ride, you know, stay here because we're going to do it. That's it, guys. I don't know. It's talking to myself. I know I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to the camera, right? Like it's always, I don't know. All right. I'm Larry. Thanks for putting up with me while I do all this. And I hope you guys love photography as well. And if you don't, just stick around for a couple more videos. I promise it's infectious. Like through the camera, it's just going to grab you guys. But get out there, go shoot, go have some fun, go somewhere new. You know, go take a couple rolls of film somewhere for a very specific shot, or take a digital camera somewhere to get a ton of whatever you want kind of shots. That's what I did today. I had a great time. I got some really cool shots. I don't think I got anything today where I was like, this is portfolio level, but I did see a couple of really cool things. And I think that my favorite photo was the 3 guys kind of hanging out right next to the crosswalk sign, because the logo of the crosswalk guy and the arrow is almost pointing right to the guys. And like something about that juxtaposition was real comical, but I really liked that moment. I think that was my favorite photo from the day. But more or less, I took good shots. I took okay shots, but I didn't take I don't have anything in today's sample that I think was like mastery level. So that probably means like I am not yet mastery level. Because I bet a master photographer walking that same path that I walked probably could have found some heat. So I'm gonna try again. And like I always say, point camera, have fun. I'm Larry, thanks for sticking around. If you wanna hang out more, just check out the channel later. Subscribe, stay in touch. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.